All right, we'll get started here, and whoever else hop on, I'll let them in. But again, my name is Long. I've been doing real estate for 35 years now, and because I am in the real estate space and self-employed entrepreneur, my insurance was always very expensive. Till about almost 2 years ago now, I learned about impact health sharing. So I checked it out, and my wife and I signed up, and we saved over $1,100 a month. So it's been 2 years now. You do the math, $1,100 a month. We saved $25,000 so far the last 2 years. Uh, Fortunately, we've only used the basic stuff. We've never had to use anything major, but I got to find out from some people that they had to use it. So it's not too good to be true. All the thing I was learning, what Impact Health Share has to do. As you probably know, it is the number one financial worry among U.S. Adults, right? Is a healthcare cost. It's so expensive that last year, you know, most of the people saw over 100% increase in their premium. So that's pretty, expenses as well. And medical debt has now become the number one cause for bankruptcy. So it is pretty bad out there right now. And I have two of the experts on here. Kate, I introduced Kate to this. She joined. Actually, she's had way more experience with me on the health sharing experience because she's been with other health sharing company before. I've never been there, so I was very apprehensive. I chat with her. She's like, I've been there. I know how it works. I don't know. This sounds too good to be true. She checked into it and she told me it does work. And then unfortunately, she actually had to use it on her daughter, which I'll have her share as well in her experience of that. And then we'll have Cash here to also any question to answer on how health share works. He's someone that we go to because she knows everything about it. He's been doing this for a while. So Kate, without further ado, introduce yourself and maybe share a little background and story about you, please.
Yeah, well, thank you all for being here. I know it's a beautiful evening here in Minnesota. And so if you're prioritizing being here right now, it means you are definitely on the hunt for some affordable health care that has great coverage and options. And honestly, I was on the hunt for a very long time. My husband and I have been married for 22 years, and for our pretty much our entire marriage, we have been self-employed. So if you're a business owner, you know that no one is offering you benefits, and it can be very difficult to cover yourself and your family. In our early years of marriage, we were fairly low income, so we qualified for Minnesota Care. I don't even think that's around anymore. That kind of came with a stigma, unfortunately, had a lot of restrictions with it, and just didn't always have the best vibes when you were getting coverage. You were kind of looked down on a little bit. So I just always hoped to find a big girl job that offered benefits. And we finally did. I got the corporate job with the healthcare benefits. And I think when I got my first paycheck, I cried because it was like, this is what I've been waiting for. I just couldn't believe how much we were paying for our family to be covered. And then, with those high premiums and deductibles, you don't even want to go to the doctor because you don't want to spend any more money than you're already spending. So to me, it just defeated the whole purpose. And then I eventually jumped into real estate, which meant that we were both now self-employed and again, back in the position of not having insurance, on the hunt again, trying to find something. I don't think Minnesota Care was around anymore. Looked into MNsure. It was insanely expensive as well as private insurance. So I think our first 2 years that I was in real estate in 2018 and 19, we went without insurance. We just realized we're healthy people. For the amount of money we're going to have to pay if something comes up, we're honestly better off just paying self-pay rates and not having insurance than paying this high monthly premium and these deductibles. We knew we were playing with fire with that though, because if something major, medical or, illness comes up, we're probably in big trouble. And then COVID hit. And I was like, okay, now we're really playing with fire. We were, of course, all terrified of what was going to happen. So I started investigating again. Where can we find affordable health care? And I'd been talking to a girlfriend of mine that her and her husband are also both self-employed. And she told me about this health share company that she was with. And I'd never heard of a health share company before. So of course I looked into it, and it just really seemed like such a great fit for our family. We're healthy. We don't really use the doctor very often. And I loved the idea of people coming together and sharing in their medical bills. If something comes up, you help each other pay the bills. I was like, what a concept. Like how do people not know about this? This is wild because I feel like for the most part, the majority of people who are running around are healthy. They just want to get their yearly checkups and be covered if anything major comes up. So I signed on. I think at that time it was maybe $500 a month for our family. Didn't really have to use it. And really didn't want to use it because I think the one time I did, I went in and they were like, "What is this?" Like we don't even know what this health share company is. So I think I ended up paying a couple of those bills by myself and just said, "Forget it. If something major happens, hopefully we're covered." I jumped on with another health share company that I just ran into a lot of the same issues. And quite honestly, we did have something kind of major come up. Our daughter Charlotte, who is our clearly our accident-prone daughter, um, she fractured her spine in gymnastics, and they told us it was a pre-existing condition and that they wouldn't cover it. So we ended up paying for that. It was just extremely frustrating. I had to handwrite medical bills and submit them, and it was a lot. And then my good old friend Long here in February of 2024 introduced me to Impact Health Sharing. And I was like, wow, that's wild. I've been in a health share company for the last, at that time, like almost 4 years. Wasn't a huge fan, was glad to have coverage if I needed it, if I could figure out how to use it and get covered properly. So I was like, all right, well, I'll look into it. But now I know all the questions that I want answered before I jump on with another one. And I got on the phone with Impact Health Sharing, and they had a solution for absolutely everything. And I think the biggest thing for me was this. It had an EDI number on the back that providers could submit the bills directly to. I didn't have to worry about getting all this information and handwriting it out and scanning it in. They had this tech platform that I had never seen before where they stored all the bills and they'd show how much, your health share account had. It was wild. It was just really, really impressive. So I was like, okay, let's give this one more shot. And if this doesn't work, we're just going to have to like get private insurance or something. So got on with Impact. I think that spring we ended up using it a few times. Our son had mono. It went really well. It was like, okay, this is working. They took the card, they're submitting and paying for the bills. This is great. So just had kind of a couple of, incidents out of the gate. And then on August 31st of 2024, I got the phone call that no parent ever wants to get. Our daughter was in a horrific, life-threatening jet ski accident. And I know we're here to talk about health share, but any opportunity I get to give a little warning and PSA about jet skis, I'm going to do it. So this is my moment for that. Our daughter was on the back of a jet ski. They were leaving the dock, and as the jet ski was accelerating, she slipped off the back. And as she slipped off the back, the propulsion of the jet shot inside of her as she was falling backwards and ruptured her internal organs and began internally bleeding. Our oldest daughter and her boyfriend were with at the time. They had absolutely no idea what was happening. They just knew that they needed to get her to the emergency room immediately. And thank God they did, because she would not be here if they didn't. They took her out to Cambridge Medical Center, who had also no idea what was happening, just kind of dinking around, not making a big deal. We got to the hospital and started, demanding we get something done here. They took her to the back, they scanned her, and at that point, the radiologist called and said, get her out of there immediately. Lifelink showed up and they life flighted her down to Hennepin County Medical Center in Minneapolis. And at that point, it just got wild with the medical. She had 4 life-saving surgeries over the first week of her stay in the hospital. Scariest week of my life. And the last thing I was thinking about was medical bills. It was just do whatever you have to do to save our daughter. Didn't care what anything cost. I said I'll spend the rest of my life paying everything off if I have to, because at this point I'm like, I don't even know if this health share company is going to cover anything. But thankfully, I didn't have to worry about it. And it just went on and on. All of her recovery, for those of you who've been following me and know, I mean, this was a year of specialists and more surgeries. And it was a lot of hospitalizations. I think all in, she was well over, 6 weeks in the hospital total, 9 surgeries, and appointment after appointment after appointment. The medical bills obviously started rolling in very quickly. I think, Harsh, did we have those images or long by chance? The first bill we
There's
actually
over a
got,
million, right? I think I remember seeing those. They're like
yeah,
over a
so
million dollars.
the all in the medical bills were over $1 million. But I think the first bill that we got before we even got home from the hospital, when she was in ICU, was her lifelink bill. And this is the helicopter. It was just mind blowing to me, $47,000 to fly her 15 minutes from Cambridge to Minneapolis. And I'm looking at this bill and I'm like, what? Like, this can't even be possible. So Impact Health Sharing negotiated the bill from $46,987 down to $7,413. Um, and then they covered 90% of it at that point, which was 6671, and we owed $741.30 on a $47,000 bill. My mind was blown. I just was like, this cannot be right. There has to be another bill coming. Um, but I just crossed my fingers and I called LifeLink and Impact Health Sharing just to verify that this was all accurate, and it was. It was for me the first bill to see that big of an impact, pun intended, on our bills was just giving me great hope for what was to come because I knew there was a lot more coming. I think the next bill that was just up, this was for her time at HCMC. A very small, I shouldn't say very small. It's a very large bill, but only a very one of many, many, many bills that came from HCMC. And you can see that this bill was $559,000. They negotiated it down to $262,000, and we paid $2,300 of that. So when we signed on our family of five. Our daughter, who is 21 and now living in Florida, is still able to be covered with us. We pay $605 a month. We signed on for the $2,500. We don't call it a deductible in health share companies. We call it a primary share responsibility. Wait, what is it? Now I'm spacing. What is it, Harsh? Help me out. The
Primary
PRA.
responsibility, PRA, yeah,
Thank
primary
you. Thank
responsibility
you.
amount.
So we pay $2,500 a year, and that is not per person, that is per household, which obviously we hit pretty quick with Charlotte's accident. And then they cover, we do a 90-10 split up to max of $5,000. So for the year, we ended up paying $7,500 on $1 million worth of bills, which is wild to me. So I am proof that this works. I'm such a believer in it. Not only is it affordable, but the best part about all of this is you can imagine with Charlotte's recovery, with all the specialists, we really wanted to be mindful about who she saw, be able to see who we wanted to see, and Impact let us do that. Whoever we wanted to see, they were willing to cover. I never was denied for anything. They approved absolutely everything, and it was just such a blessing for us to be able to solely focus on our daughter's recovery and not worry about the financial piece of it. Of course, we had a small responsibility in it, but that is to be expected, right? It's just something I have to continue to share with people now that the dust has settled on our daughter's accident. I feel selfish not doing that because it could be such a blessing to so many others as well. So with that being said, I'm sure, some of you have questions. Just ask that maybe you write them down. We're going to save them for the end. And I'm going to introduce you to Harsh Patel, who is amazing. And I'm just going to preface this too with, we don't work for Impact directly. We're an affiliate partner with them. We help share this incredible company. And that is who Harsh is with. He's with ACN, and he's going to give you a little rundown on Impact Health Sharing as well as ACN.
Well, first of all, Kate, thank you for obviously sharing your story. I heard, I didn't even know this was even happening. I literally met Kate about 2 weeks ago, and she reached out saying, "Hey, I want to get back in." Just like she said, the dust settled, and life kind of came at her when she did partner up with us. And when I heard her story, I'm like, this is powerful. Like I didn't even know this was happening, and these are one of many stories that obviously impact we have now that they've literally helped not only help the individuals really save 30 to 70% compared to traditional healthcare, but give them the care they deserve when they need it, how they need it, and whatever they need it. So, Kate, I'm happy that Charlotte's doing well. She's recovering, which is phenomenal. So, guys, real quick, there's two things. Just what I want to share. I will share a opportunity side of it, just like Kate's now passionate about sharing impact with people. There is a opportunity where you can market the service and earn not only upfront bonuses but long-term residuals. But no pressure, no nothing. If you just say, hey, you're on this call to learn about impact, to know more about impact, just do me a favor, write your questions at the end. You could absolutely be a customer. Kate will definitely, run quotes. We can run quotes for you. We can do everything in live time. All we really need is the oldest person's date of birth and how many people in your household, and we can literally generate a quote in less than 5 seconds. And we can do that for you. And if you decide just to become a customer and you want nothing to do with the income opportunity, that is perfectly fine as well, just so you guys know. So there's both aspects. We just want to share the opportunity with you so that way, A, you have an opportunity to make money with it and kind of, impact other people at the end of the day. But and I always like to say, change people's lives. Healthcare has now officially become. It went from number two, the second largest bill in a household. Wall Street Journal actually on January came out with an article saying now health insurance for the average family has officially become the largest bill in the household, surpassing rent and mortgages, and which is pretty insane when you think about health insurance being that expensive. I mean, I call it for just, just wanted to know what I would have paid when open enrollment was happening. And I got a quote, and I would have paid $3,100 for me, my wife, and my 7-month-old son. And we're only paying 576 now. I wasn't switching, but I just wanted to know what I would have paid in 2026, if that makes sense. Because at the end of the day, that is obviously a big deal. And now, instead of paying $3,100, I'm only paying 576. And again, I want to make sure you guys understand the importance of what we're saying. I'm gonna just recap kind of bullet points that kind of Kate gave on here. Is number one, it's affordable. It's 30 to 70% less than traditional healthcare. We have individuals pricing low as $73, family low pricing lowest $378. And guys, it's complete medical coverage. And what I mean by that, it's access to preventative care. They'll actually prepay your physical and prepay your lab work to the doctor of your choice before you even show up. So my son, when he was born, I didn't know I had to have a pediatrician or they wouldn't release me from the hospital. I had no idea. So like, oh, we can't release you, and he's 7 months old now. So it literally happened August of last year. He's like, well, we can't release, the wife and the kid unless you have a pediatrician. I'm like, I gotta look for something. And thankfully, I found one. I called him up. I said, "Hey, the first question is, what insurance do you have?" I said, "I have Impact Health Share." Knee-jerk reaction from them was, "We don't take you." I'm like, "Yes, you do." I called the number in the back of the card. They called the number in the back of the card. Impact prepaid them before we even showed up. So that was huge because it's a physical, right? If it was just a checkup for my son at the end of the day being released from the hospital. So they prepaid it like that. We've never had this in our life before. They prepay physicals and they prepay lab works, which is pretty exciting, and it's comprehensive medical coverage. So anything from a common cold to as big as cancer or a life-saving surgeries that you heard Charlotte go through, Kate's daughter go through, anything as small as, like I said, as small as, like a common cold, like I said, to anything major, it is all 100% covered. So it is complete comprehensive medical coverage. Okay. It does also offer mental coverage, which is mental, speech, physical therapy, and chiropractic sessions, 50 sessions per year per member, which is pretty exciting. Wholesale prescriptions, free telemedicine, which is like Teledoc MD Live, if that makes sense, 24/7. Talk to a doctor in less than 2 hours, and they can prescribe your, local medication to your local place. And the best thing you'll appreciate about us, again, two things. Number one, no network restrictions. So you can choose the best of the best doctors, the best of the best surgeons, the best of the best anybody, any doctor, any specialist, anything else. How many guys can we agree? You guys are on this call. You've heard people go to the emergency room, and then the hospital's a network, the surgeon's network, but the anesthesiologist is not a network, and they get stuck with a catastrophic bill. Right? None of that stuff exists with us, right? So when Kate's daughter went in, it didn't matter who took care of her, it didn't matter what surgeon took care of her, it didn't matter what anesthesiologist took care of her, nurses or whatnot, ICU or whatever that was. It did not matter how long she would have to be there. Again, I was 100% covered, no network restrictions whatsoever, which is absolutely amazing. So if you have a doctor you want to go to and you've been going to him for 10, 15, 20 years or whatever it looks like, you can still go to him. We don't have a restriction. And the best thing is, I know a lot of you guys are probably real estate agents. This is a big deal. We don't have an open enrollment timeline. So if somebody wants to become a customer today, your coverage would literally start May 1st. So literally the first of the following month, your coverage would absolutely start, which is absolutely phenomenal. So just to familiar you guys with healthcare and where health sharing started and how it started, I'm going to play a little video. Video does a great job explaining, number one, what impact is, what's going on, and how you can participate. And then I'll go into, like I said, maybe a 7-minute just presentation on the business side of how you can make money with us. And then we'll answer all your questions after that. Fair enough? So guys, give me a thumbs up when you guys could hear sound from the CEO of the company, okay?
Hi, I'm Phil Chrysler, President and CEO of Impact Health Sharing. Healthcare sharing began in churches. You were asked to contribute to help Bob and Sue with their ailment. People passed the hat and you contributed what you could to help your fellow member in need. Then, fast forward, you saw great things occurring in the Amish and Mennonite communities doing exactly the same thing. Then it got a little more formalized in the 80s with some religious-based organizations, and then the Affordable Care Act came along. That's really what propelled healthcare sharing to its modern-day growth. You remember the individual mandate penalized you with a tax if you didn't have health insurance. But if you were a member of certain healthcare sharing organizations, you didn't have to pay that. Now we know the individual mandate has, of course, been reduced to zero. But in the meantime, healthcare sharing grew over 1,000% in the last decade alone. Why? Because it's an alternative to the high cost of insurance. Typically, you'll pay 30 to 50% less. Some reasons why? We're not for profit. So we have no profit motives that typically cause conflict between members, providers, shareholders, and the executive team. None of that exists with healthcare sharing and certainly with Impact. You can stop overpaying, my friends. Here's an important statistic to understand why. Department of Health and Human Services says about 5% of the population account for nearly half of the healthcare spending that occurs in this country. Majority are healthy. They're overpaying, though, for the non-healthy. Insurance has become really no longer affordable. 80% of U.S. adults rate lowering their healthcare costs as their top concern. So why Impact? Well, we're rooted in the Love Thy Neighbor approach, which allows us to welcome all races, all religions, all colors, all creeds. We were the very first healthcare sharing entity to launch this patented technology platform that really provides 100% transparency. This had never been done before in healthcare sharing, certainly not in health insurance. We have member-owned accounts. That way the money stays in your account. We have no network. You get to see any doctor you want. Again, providing full transparency on how all the money moves is something we're really, really proud of. And of course, you have no open enrollment restrictions. Membership begins the first of every month. You just got to finish that application by the last day of the previous month. We also have great pricing and programs for individuals, for families, for seniors, and for groups. And remember, friends, it's a comprehensive program for your health. So we have preventative services, maternity, accident, illness, and of course, injuries. You have access to telemedicine and an industry-leading prescription drug pricing program. Here is a quick video that highlights the opportunity for all of us to be a disruptor in the industry. Enjoy.
Healthcare spending made up 5% of total U.S. GDP in 1960. In 2020, spending hit almost 20%.
National polls show Americans believe healthcare prices and drug costs are among their top pocketbook concerns.
Over the past 20 years, the runaway cost of health insurance has outpaced earnings and inflation, leaving our families with less freedom and less money. Families, small businesses, and individuals alike are struggling to find a way to pay for the healthcare they can't seem to afford. So how are we going to solve this problem? All over the world, technology is changing the way people and society connect and interact. The result? Countless industries are disrupted. But while the rest of the world has changed, insurance and the way we pay for healthcare remains broken and largely the same. What if there was a way we could all pay for healthcare that simply worked better and felt better than insurance? Well, today there is. We are Impact Health Sharing. We are a network of families, individuals, business owners, and small entrepreneurs who want to see the old way of doing things change. We use technology to connect tens of thousands of individuals and families across the nation to simply share and pay each other's medical bills. Old problems can be solved when people come together to leverage their sense of community with technology to control the cost of healthcare.
My friends, what we are simply doing is leveraging your sense of community with technology to control the cost of healthcare. I hope you'll join us. Next, you'll be introduced to our marketing partner, ACN. You will see an exciting suite of essential services that are available to you. Thank you for your time.
So guys, the video is obviously a great job explaining the background of Impact, how it got started, what we're doing, how we're disrupting. I call it we're on a crusade against the traditional insurance companies. I like to say, right? We're just changing the wrongs, making them rights, if you know what I mean. Just give them something people better for a lot less. And true medical autonomy, literally giving the way the doctor should treat you. Because how many of you guys can agree doctors treat you based on how they're getting paid from insurance? See, that's not the case here. So if the doctor says, hey, you need hip surgery, traditional insurance, like, well, why don't you get PT first before, before we, do a hip surgery or knee replacement, whatever, right? Go fix it with PT. That's not the case here. If the doctor says, hey, you need to get surgery, done, game over. Whatever doctor says, it's true medical freedom, not only back to the providers, but actually to the people that have impact, which is absolutely phenomenal. So I appreciate that piece of impact and true revolutionary product in the space to literally, kind of take down, I call it put a dent in a multi-trillion-dollar industry in the healthcare space, which is extremely broken in America. So as you saw in the video, they did choose an exclusive marketing partner to partner with to market this service. I've been with ACN, just so you guys know, for 11 years. So I guess I'm been doing this for about quite some time. Just a little background on ACN, just so you guys know, it's a direct sales company started back in January of 1993. We specialize in customer acquisition, both in US and Canada. Millions of satisfied customers around the world, $1 billion company, privately held, debt-free, and an A+ better business rating. So Impact obviously chose the right marketing partner because it has a great track record, 30+ years in business, $1 billion company, privately held, debt-free. We can agree the company's doing something right, meaning it's a good partner to have. Now, besides the healthcare piece, just realize we actually do market a lot of other services. So I probably have several thousand people that are in the real estate space. They also use this not on top of becoming healthcare customers, but they use this as part of their clear to close process, a way for them to make more money per transaction without really changing anything that they do in the clear to close process. So we market cell phone service through like T-Mobile, which is just white labeled Flash. We do offer high-speed internet bundle with television like AT&T and DirecTV. In 19 states that are deregulated, we do offer both gas and electricity in those states. So when somebody's moving in, you can help them turn on their gas electric accounts, which is pretty awesome. Secure automation through a company called Vivint. I'm sure you heard of them, pretty popular. Payment processing, identity theft protection, and like I said, our flagship product, it was our healthcare product. We're saving people 30 to 50% alone just on Impact Health Share, which is absolutely exciting. Now, what we're launching in September is pretty exciting as well. We're launching online banking, which is a fancy word of just saying fintech, right? A lot of companies, especially real estate companies that I know of, several companies have actually gone towards the fintech model, which is I think Real Brokers does it. If I'm not believing, they give a card, you get paid through the card and stuff like that. They pretty much have an online banking platform. We're going to do the same thing where we're going to be exactly a mirror of Chime and SoFi. The same exact stuff. We're going to be exactly the same as Chime and SoFi Bank. It's going to be an online bank where people better deposit money, get early deposits, earn higher interest rates on their money. We'll actually also have like a crypto platform, like a Coinbase or like a Robinhood, where people can buy and sell cryptocurrency. And on the transaction fees, we'll get paid. We'll have credit repair services available. We'll have mortgage solutions where we're going to differ from a lot of people, which you guys will appreciate. We're just going to be the connector. So let's say, Kate is a high volume realtor. She has somebody that wants a mortgage. She just fills out, hey, Bob Smith here is looking for a mortgage at 123, whatever address, wants pre-approval or whatever it looks like. The people at FinTech will take care of it on behalf of her. She's just being the liaison. Now, the beautiful thing about this is not only we're not going to get paid, like traditional mortgage brokers. We're actually going to get paid on the interest that is earned from the mortgage itself, month after month, year after year. So the way the banks make money, they're just going to give us a percentage of that back to us as well. which is pretty darn different than what people are used to in the world in today. Personal loans, business loans as well. And the biggest one is we're going to have, credit cards and debit cards. If you take a look at my screen, like this one right here, it's going to be the black card version of it. You'll have a different, three different types of card, entry level, or, middle, or even the black card version, just like an Amex does, like an exclusive type of deal. And every time somebody swipes his card, whether it's buying Starbucks coffee or whatever, we'll get a percentage of those transaction fees as well. So if you take a look at SoFi, perfect example, they're worth $30 billion and 70% of their customer the revenue for SoFi actually came from credit card swipe transactions. So think about that for a second, which is pretty exciting. So we're launching this in September at our major event we're having in Arlington, Texas, which is right outside of Dallas. So this is going to be launched in September, which is really, really exciting. Now, to partner up with us, it's $2.99 one time, $30 a month. What that gives you is your own personalized website. So like Kate has her own website, Mr. Long has his own website, where all the customers can literally go to their website and become a customer of any of the services. For the customer, it's absolutely free. So let's say some of you guys say, hey, this is not really for me. I don't want to make money on this, but you know what? I'm interested in getting a quote for impact and potentially becoming a customer. Fantastic. We'll just take you to Kate's website. We'll run you a quick quote. And if you want to become a customer, you'll just go through Kate's website and become a customer. And that's simple as that. You'll just pay the monthly fees, whatever your premium is, you'll just pay that. No, nothing else. That's it. Right. And what I like about ACN is ACN does everything that you and I don't want to do. They'll build a customer, take care of the customer tracking, customer support, everything on the back end, they will take care of. All you and I have to do is one of two things: show people how they can make money and save money on bills. And for doing that, we get paid. Okay. So real quick, there's 4 ways we get paid. For marketing all the different services, they'll pay you up front when you acquire customers. So let's just say you sign up in the business and you sign up for 3 services. Literally 3 services, just so you guys know, it's not 3 different people, it's 3 bills. So when I signed up 11 years ago, me becoming my electric customer, that was 1. My gas customer, 2. My Vivint customer, that's 3. That was 3 services, 3 bills. That's a $400 bonus right there. Okay. 6 services pays you $1,000. And every 3 services beyond that point, you get unlimited $500, and 9 services, $1,500. So you can literally implement this, not just a healthcare piece with all the people you know, whether it's individuals or businesses or however you want to implement it, but in your clear to close process for all the transactions you close, they want to get home security, they want to get some of these services. You're just being the facilitator, and the number of customers you refer on a monthly basis, they'll literally pay you an upfront bonus. So if I could just summarize the first way we get paid, every 6 services is $1,000, pretty much put it that way. And one person can be multiple different services, right? And the second way you get paid is residuals. Now, here's why I fell in love with the opportunity here, because doing the work once, but getting paid over and over and over again on the work you do once. We can all agree we pay our electric bill, our gas bill, our TV bill, internet bill, our healthcare bill every single month religiously, pretty much. Economy good, economy bad, who's in presidential office, what's going on in the world, war, no war, nothing matters. We're going to pay these bills regardless of what's happening. That's a pretty fair statement. Now, by you helping people save money on these bills, you'll get a percentage of the bill month after month, year after. You get between 3 and 20% of the commissionable revenue back to you every single month. So people I've helped become customers 11 years ago for, let's say, cell phones, gas, electric, TV, internet, they've been paying that bill for the last 11 years. I've gotten 20% of that bill for the last 11 years, month after month, year after year, for the work I did 11 years ago. I still get paid today. Pretty exciting. Now, there's obviously a rev share model with this as well, which you can participate with. You can participate with myself, Mr. Long, Kate here. Is very, very simple. We all know other people that are potentially looking for other ways of making money, want to make more money per transaction. We all know business owners, people of influence, people of, that are go-getters out there. And all you really have to do is exactly what's being done here today. Just be the connector, and I'll do your presentations for you. I'll explain the services for you. I'll do all the heavy lifting for you. And anybody that partners up, they'll go part of your team. Exactly what I'm doing for Kate and Mr. Long here today. Very, very simple. They partner up, all the customers they refer, they'll make that up to 20% residuals, but you'll just get a 4% rev share and all the customers that they have acquired. So I've been doing this for 11 years. My team's heard over 10,000 plus people, over 25,000 plus customers at the end of the day that pay a bill, regardless of economy good or economy bad. Every month, those customers pay a bill, and I get a 4% override on all those customers for life of the customer, which is obviously exciting. And there's obviously position the company from CQ to senior vice president, where you start making $50 to $400 for every single person that joins and gets a handful of customers. And Mr. Long's already a RAD, which is like the middle position right there. He's already hit get that position the time he's been with us. Again, part-time, spare times, cracks of his schedule. All he really did was exactly just be the connector, and that's it. And he let me do all the explanations and stuff like that. And that's all you really, really have to do at the end of the day. And last two things I'll share with you guys, and then I can open it up for questions. If you do decide to partner up and this is something up your alley, not a problem. Just so you guys know, there's a phenomenal fast start bonuses people could participate in. Let's say you go out there and get 30 services, ACN will pay you a $4,500 bonus. You hit ETL, they'll give you $400. You hit RC, you get $1,600, and then $6,500 in your first 30 days. We had a Holly and Brad and Lily joined us, one of the couples last month. Lily made $5,600 in their first 3 weeks, and they already surpassed $6,500 in their first 30 days. Again, no experience, no nothing. They just follow this simple thing, help people save money on bills, and very, very simple. And we do build in teams of 4. So some of you guys already understand RevShare. Some of you guys have tried multiple different models that you guys know, whether it's Keller Williams, LPT, Real, EXP. Our model is very, very simple. We go 4 wide and we stack. We just put people on people's teams. So obviously Kate invited you guys. This is actually her first meeting. She's passionate about Impact Health Share. Just so you guys know, she's more passionate about Impact Health Share, marketing that product, making sure she's changing people's lives. The value add of her just helping a lot of people at the same time is just, obviously, when you help enough people get what they want, you get what you want. You can obviously earn money with it. So, her passion is the helping people side and the impact side. But if you do decide to partner up with her, you can really take one of the top 4 positions in her business at the end of the day. And then Lily will help you just like we're helping her. We obviously have a phenomenal story. I hate the fact that it happened to Charlotte, but it's a testament when something was needed. And, Impact stood there, paid the bills. Kate didn't have to worry about it. Didn't have to be like, man, what's going on with this bill or that bill or whatnot. Everything was 100% taken care of for her. And there was zero stress on her part. So you can kind of understand when you have that type of stress relief, which people usually don't have with traditional healthcare, because the number one reason for bankruptcy in America is actually medical debt, believe it or not. And now we're disrupting that space. So that kind of gives you guys an idea of not only the presentation side, where you can just become a customer, and I can literally pull up a website. We can run you guys quotes. And if you have any questions, I would love to answer any impact specific questions. We could definitely do that. Or you say, you know what? I've heard enough. I like what I hear. I do want to not only become a customer, but actually market the product. We could help you with that too. So I don't know if Kate or Long, if there's anything you guys want to add before we open up to questions, but that's pretty much it, guys.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Haas. And yes, we got asked question. I'll recap real quick. Like for me again, my wife and I, right? When we had insurance, we paid over $1,500 a month. We were healthy. We barely ever go to the doctor, and we also chose the higher deductible just in case something bad happened. It was like $15,000 deductible. When we went to this thing, $500 with a $2,500. It's called PRA instead of deductible, personal responsibility amount, which crazy for me. And it's too good to be true. I didn't know, and luckily I didn't have to used it. And then I'm like, wait, so I can share this with other people and maybe also make money. What do I got to do? And then I realized all this thing that has share, all this product I use anyway. I have phone services, I have internet services, security services, and my clients who in real estate may use them too. So I did choose to go to become an ACN partner as well, so that I can earn income while I share this with. But at the end of the day, today we're passionate by health sharing, about impact health sharing. That's what Kate and I are. The other one's just a byproduct of something that I love other people and maybe get paid. So, Kate, anything you want to add before we open up for questions?
I'm just here for the impact.
Yep. No,
I just feel
and
so
that's
strongly about it. And if I, of course, if there's, an opportunity to share and make some money, that's great. But honestly, at the end of the day, I am here to help other people save on healthcare and be able to see whoever they want, whenever they want. I've just never seen anything like it. And so this is all a bonus. But for me, the biggest reason why I'm here is to help others have the experience. Well, I don't want anyone to have the experience that we had. Let's just be clear on that. But if for some reason they are ever in a position like we are, to know that they can focus on what is most important and not have the financial stress to go along with it. So that's why I'm here.
And crazy thing is, I know Hash didn't go into all the detail because there's so much information, but free telehealth, 3 per month mental health care visit, 100% annual wealth visit free. I think I have my gym membership, massages. There's so much thing that I can add because it's a nonprofit status company. So they have to use money. They keep adding services. The last I heard, vision, dental discount. There's so many things on there we're not even touching right now. So when you guys check into this, you will think it's too good to be true. What's a cat? So Kate, before we open up for questions, can you share your link for people just to run a company here, right? Just to
Yeah. Yep. You can go to
and see?
freedomwithimpact.com. I'll put it in the chat. It's just, it takes you right to the area that you can quote out. Just punch in the, like we mentioned, the oldest person in the household's birth date and how many you are looking to, we don't call it insurance, how many you're looking to cover. I think it's the same for 3+. So it's like 1, 2, and then 3+. You just punch it in there. And
It's
if you know
really easy
any,
to use.
I will say too, if you know any small business owners that are looking to provide benefits in some way, shape, or form to their employees and they have less than 49 or less employees, this is an incredible opportunity for business owners as well, to offer healthcare to their employees.
Yeah. Entrepreneur, self-employed, like real estate people, contractors, a lot of contractors don't have that,
And I
small
think that
businesses.
the biggest thing to remember too is anybody who is already covered, they're not going to deny you if you're offered healthcare coverage through your employer. That's a beautiful thing because, a lot of like when I was with the Minnesota insurance, if they knew you had the opportunity to get insurance elsewhere, you were denied. And that is not the case with this company.
Yep. All right. Any question for anybody today? If you go one-on-one with Kate, up with her after. But anyone have any question right now that we have the experts in here you can answer? You guys have to unmute yourself or raise your hand and I'll unmute.
Yeah, and feel free to connect with me afterwards too if you don't feel comfortable asking questions here. I'm always here to be a resource.
I would highly encourage you guys just to get a quote. The donate chat there you guys have, just go there and you'll be like, wait a minute, what's the catch? And it's crazy when I thought like, come on, what's going on here?
Mhm.
And then it's to be true.
Yeah. Okay.
People out there who are not healthy. So it's amazing. I highly encourage you guys check it out. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there's no
Kate,
other questions. Yep. Go
anybody
ahead,
have any?
Hash.
Yeah. I was going to say, Kate or Tyler or Carrie, any questions on the not only just it doesn't have to be specific impact related, but just anything at all. Just if you just want to run a quick quote, if anybody wants to guinea pig, we could do that live or whatnot, so you can kind of see how simple it is. But if anything, that's pretty much it. That wraps up the meeting.
Everybody, let you guys go back to your evening event and then follow up with Kate. Any questions, and then I'll be sending this out to whoever had requested it. There's quite a few people, so we'll send the recording out. So for those who are watching the recording later, make sure you follow with Kate as well.
Great.
Thank you,
all for
everyone.
listening. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Take
Bye,
care.
guys.
Bye-bye.